Hello, I'm Simon Pine from Greener Energy Futures, and I help organisations, SMEs, businesses around Bristol, national businesses doing energy saving opportunity scheme (ESOS) to identify and reduce their energy bills and their carbon emissions. And I don't do that alone, because when I go to some organisations, they can have incredibly detailed and sophisticated systems, and that's where I introduce partners like Lawrence, who is an expert in HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems and cooling systems for organizations. And we've done some really good work together. What we're going to do now is give you some really quick tips on symptoms of an ailing heating and cooling system that you should look for that are going to drive some savings. So, Lawrence, give me your sort of visuals. What are people looking for? Three things that people should look for that tell them there's a massive opportunity for energy saving.
Okay, I think, Simon, the first one, if you've got a VRV or a split system, that's a system that does heating and cooling.
Yeah.
Check the insulation, make sure that the insulation's not failed,
Yeah.
and it can't retain water. That's the first one.
So that's you've got these cassettes on the wall in your building or on the ceiling of of the room you're in. Go outside, because I've seen this on the roof of buildings. The sort of black insulation that's starting to crumble and has got moss growing, all sorts of stuff. It's that sort of foam pipe insulation that we're looking for that is crumbly.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned to me before that what we're looking for is stuff that is wet to the touch.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just take some water with you and just dip it on the insulation. If it starts to retain the moisture, then the insulation's failed and it needs to be replaced.
Exactly.
It's a no-brainer.
It is, and who would want to walk out of a shower and put a wet towel around themselves, right? It's a bit like that.
Yes.
It's just a horrible experience, because you and I can see that a wet pipe is going to be much less effective. How much less effective at insulating?
It's at over 1,000%.
Rubbish, isn't it? So that's number one. Number one win.
Yeah.
Failed insulation for cooling and heating systems. Second, then, what's our second visual sign of energy savings?
If you've got any pumps or fans,
Yeah.
go to the inverter and look at the display.
Okay.
And look at the operating conditions. That's speed, frequency, current in kilowatts.
Yeah.
Normally the speed is normally the frequency.
Okay.
So if they're operating at 50 hertz,
yeah,
that's a warning sign that the unit's not being commissioned properly or not working properly. And actually, it will be using more power with an inverter at 50 hertz than if you didn't have the inverter at all.
Yeah. Okay. So inverters, because 50 hertz is the mains frequency, right? And so that's the default.
That's correct.
And inverters are designed so that as demand decreases, the frequency goes down, so you save energy, right? So it's looking for those 50 hertz mistakes on an inverter drive. Okay. So that's a couple of savings then. And a third one then. What's the third visual thing that we should be looking for energy savings?
I think, as Jeremy said, dirty coils on condensers.
Yeah.
And the ceiling cassettes. Check that they're being cleaned and maintained properly, because that they will drive up your cost quite significantly.
Yeah.
And they'll also reduce the cooling or heating capacity when you most amount of need it.
Yeah, exactly.
Particularly in the summer.
So they reduce the efficiency and the effectiveness, because the coils that are there to disseminate and disperse heat and cooling are basically clogged with crud, much like much like a kitchen oil fan.
It derates your system.
Yeah.
Effectively, if you're towing a caravan,
yeah,
you can't get the same speed as your car as you could without towing a caravan.
Okay.
So you basically, it's not running as designed.
Yeah.
So you won't be getting the rated capacity, and of course that's going to mean a lot when we get these high ambient temperatures.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, brilliant. Well, look, thank you very much. There's a very quick tip for helping people access energy savings, whether they're doing energy audits just to save money because of the energy crisis, or whether they're required to by ESOS. I'm sure we have the opportunity to go into data centers, food companies, whatever it might be, and find these savings, because we find them all the time. Thank you, Lawrence. Really appreciate that quick snippet of information, and we'll put some links to support it as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.